Boom, 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 boom. Welcome everybody to the worst All-Star game weekend of the season, but the best All-Star skills weekend of the season.
True words.
Tyler, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well. Just sitting here, got the Olympics on the TV here. Watched a little snowboard slope style qualifying round. Got having a good time. Looking forward to the weekend filled with just a lot more Olympics probably. But could be good. Ron, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Looking forward to checking out Golf Bar tomorrow. Shout out to a friend of the program, Braden. And, and also Mike, D1 pitcher extraordinaire. And, of course, Auburn Rob. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But, yes, extremely happy also that the Olympics are back on. I know, look, I'm not down for all the what have you that goes on to put an event like this on. Sure. World Cup coming in. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to watch it. So, conveniently for me, it's on in all the terrible hours of the night. So that works out. And as I said, we got a week where there's no meaningful hockey or football. And their all-star games suck because contact sports where no one wants to make contact. But the skills competitions are awesome. Yes. And I like, also hilarious to me, we'll get into that in a second, but they're both in Vegas. And of course, it's like a 30-year record, like chill in Vegas, where all these guys are outside, especially the hockey players are just like, why are we outside? Why is it so cold? I'm like, fool, you're from Ontario. Chill out.
Yeah, you're a Canadian. What are you doing?
Get over it. But no, looking forward. Well, I mean, skills competition already unfortunately passed us by, but there was some good moments in both of those. And now all we have left is to actually not watch the Pro Bowl or NHL All-Star Game. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's
whatever, fool. I've got a parlay going on both of those games.
What a gambler! And yeah, I was very curious about that too, because both being in Vegas.
Oh, there's action.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes it more or not, because you can pretty much just bet on anything in Vegas anyway. But
sure,
I feel like it kind of would somehow. Like, so yeah. You know what? I do want to bet on the fastest skater competition.
That's right.
I'm gonna lay $800 on this thing.
Look, we were texting about it earlier. I'm telling you right now, the breakaway challenge, the screw job in that cost me my parlay. I was perfect in the skills competition parlay up until then.
You know what? I feel like Zegras got boned because
he got boned.
The mascots didn't get out there fast enough to really just make it look like he was going through a gauntlet of dodgeballs. He was going with the whole dodgeball theme. And then as he's like pretty much, 20 feet from the goal, all of a sudden they appear just sort of like half-hearted. Like, all right, well, we could have sold it more, guys.
So I will say this. I don't know because I went back and watched it, because the goal was just disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting display of dangles.
Dirty fucking Dangles boys.
But I don't know if you noticed it, but all the mascots, like you said, they kind of half-heartedly threw the dodgeballs at Zegras, except for Wild Wing, who threw a fastball at the goalie.
Which was his job.
He's all about the name on the front, all right? He's about the name on the front.
That guy's out there trying to help out the ball club, okay?
That's right.
Shout out to Wild Wing, number 93.
That's right.
No, but I'm just going to put these back up here where they're a little bit more organized. But
they belong.
Well, yes, of course. But it is such a weird thing. I mean, I feel like the NBA All-Star Game, yes, it's always the same thing, no defense, all offense. But the entire event, the weekend, is, I mean, you've already seen, like, the infamous Bill Simmons article where he sat in with the NBA on TNT crew, and I don't know who it was. It's like, kind of like Black Christmas. It's like a celebration, and it's parties every night, the skills competition. We all watch the dunk contest. We all watch the 3-point. They build it out. And then the actual game is still entertaining. Yes, it really only gets competitive in the last 5 minutes of the game. But
still a fun watch, though.
They don't have to tackle or run into each other like the other two sports. So the Pro Bowl is kind of like all the guys that were not good enough to get in the Super Bowl, and they already have been tackling each other all year, so they definitely don't want to tackle each other anymore or get tackled.
Well, also, half the guys that are voted in the Pro Bowl end up sitting out anyways, so it's kind of like these aren't even the guys that got voted in.
And the NHL, same thing. You're not going to see guys just running over each other. Hey, let's just have a cool weekend in Vegas. It's good. It's good.
Goalies aren't really trying, so there's 11 goals in the game.
This one makes it even weirder because even though the NHL said no one can go to the Olympics, also we're going to take 3 weeks off for the Olympics. So figure that out. Good job.
Yeah, but I think they're doing all the makeup games from COVID during that time, though.
Well, I hope so, because look, I get it. It's probably not good to send the players over there, but just the off time is kind of why? I think, all right, well, you already said no one can go that is playing in this league, so just keep the league going. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they originally gave them the time off for the Olympics, but then obviously they made the decision, hey, you guys aren't going to the Olympics. So then they kind of changed, all right, all the games that have been postponed because of COVID, we will make up in that time. So really, they're only getting 1 week off, but still, it's
which they do need to have that makeup time for sure.
They do, yes.
Now I'll just reset the schedule here. Actually, let's just get right into the hockey on that note. Boom. So, wow. Okay, so we all know what happened to the Blackhawks and the dramatic failings therein. But Rocky Wirtz at the Blackhawks town hall, what I think it was 3-4 days ago, just showed his
Wednesday night
entire ass by. And I told Tyler this, how are you not prepared to field this question? All you had to do was say, we're
working closely. We're working closely with the NHLPA and the league offices to make sure that we're following all standard protocols.
We are changing the culture. This is not going to happen again. But instead, it was just I'm not going to talk about it. All right, so knock it off.
So if you haven't seen it, a reporter there for Chicago didn't even ask him specifically actually about Kyle Beach. He just asked what is the team doing to change to make sure that doesn't happen again.
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're not even talking about it. That shit never happened.
Rocky Wirtz just goes off on this reporter saying he's not going to talk about it. He actually later on, Daniel, what's up, man? And then later on went off on another reporter as well who asked about season ticket holders not being able to get much resale value for their tickets and screamed at him, "Do you work in the ticketing department? We're going to worry about that." He handled this the absolute worst possible way he could. And to your credit, I have no doubt they have a PR department there that did coach everybody. Okay, obviously at town hall you don't have complete control of what's going to be asked, but you're going to have a good idea of what questions are going to come up. So the PR say, hey, if they ask about this, say this. I think Rocky Wirtz is just he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. If he doesn't want to talk about something, he's just going to berate other people. I think he's just a dickhead that just went against everything his PR department said to do.
Yeah, I mean, he did the opposite of whatever you're supposed to do in that situation, which is, again, you can still give a non-answer that is satisfactory to the media and quotes, and it won't be a news story. But he just did the opposite and gave, not only will I not answer that question, screw you, and we're not even talking about that.
It even worse is his son tried to jump in and was probably going to give again the just general PR answer, and he basically told his son to shut up and not talk about it. which and then you see what we have here on the screen is Gary Bettman today. Which,
and
the wording of this is unbelievable. Like, Bettman's a lawyer. His job is to know how to word things. And he still came out and said, what happened to that franchise because of Kyle Beach?
You know,
how dare he get sexually assaulted by a member of their staff?
Maybe, yes, with it seems like a pattern of different incidents to other, whatever. But look, maybe this is Betts getting out there and just taking the bullet, dude. Like, I'm going to say something even dumber than what you said.
It could be it.
I can't be fired because I suck at my job and I'm still here. So lockouts, labor strife, all these problems. Look, who's still the king? Who's still the king? I could take this bullet for you, Rocky Words. Don't even worry.
Cover the king, best not miss. The thing is, people don't miss, and Bettman's still the king. So I can't
he takes headshots and he just keeps walking through them.
he's a freaking T1000 at this point in time.
So, the NHL, I mean, I'm glad they got the makeup little period of time here. But I will say this, and, you know, that will lead us into our next point. The skills competition has always been pretty entertaining in the NHL. For me, it was like super fascinating back in the day. It accuracy, hardest shot, fastest skater. Like, you know, just entertaining. You can see these guys with their helmets off. It's a, you know, kind of like football where these guys have a lot of pads, helmets, masks. Like, you don't really know these guys unless you know them or go to the games. So, and they're really doing a good job of that, especially with this Vegas thing, doing stuff outside on the strip. And my favorite one was the saucer pass contest that they had in the Bellagio pond. That was awesome. I like the light up pucks.
That's good.
They had the projected, you know, every time every player would come up, they had it projected on the spray on the fountain. So all of this is good. I love the blackjack thing as well. And then the in-arena stuff was, you know, pretty entertaining. We saw the breakaway challenge. It's more of like a yes, obviously he did, and I will never financially recover from that. But
no,
it's like a dunk contest, like in its final form, which just is like, okay, it's just like a stunt.
A lot about the showmanship, the presentation.
Yeah. So I think they're doing a really good job of, you know, using that, and I feel like they should have just made it longer, or, you know, with this layoff, just do it for like 4 days.
Five guys getting one shot. Come on, give us more for it.
But shout out to them and leveraging the, you know, ESPN deal they have to be on ESPN, big boy ESPN, and the NFL also in Vegas for their Pro Bowl. I mean, I know Tyler has thousands of dollars
game of the year
riding on it, but the NFL skills competition also pretty great. Like, I used to love back in the day when they would have, you know, like the guys bench pressing, or they would have the quarterback challenge,
the longest throw.
Yeah. So all that stuff is good, and I mean,
have guys like run the 40 like on the beach.
We have on this program given Russell Wilson a hard time, which I still believe is deserved, because he could just come out and say, like, I don't want to play for the Seahawks anymore, but he won't. But he did go off in the skills competition last night.
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited was dropping dimes. And they had a nice setup there in the minor league baseball stadium with the, I like the smoke. I like the dummies that just kind of, the drones that go around. He was nailing all of them. I love the dodgeball. I thought the dodgeball was awesome. I thought that really should have been like half of it. Like, they should have built that out into way more.
Yeah, like that's become the staple, like the last event over the last probably like 5 years is the dodgeball event, which I agree, it is always fun.
Well, I mean, just imagine, like, you know what? Yes, I would like to see Tyreek Hill and like Kirk Cousins. Like, you know what would happen if they played dodgeball? That would be awesome. They're all fast and throw really hard.
I was gonna say I want to see it to where like you only have like the quarterbacks throwing it against people. Like have like Herbert and Allen out there, just be like, boys, just fucking let it rip.
Like a duel.
Yeah.
They just walk away and then turn.
Turn and you get
fire.
one throw.
Catching is not allowed. Only headshots for kills. until we get a headshot, walk it back, do it again.
We repeat the process.
But it's a weird thing about especially these T Sports All-Star games. Like the actual games suck because
nobody cares.
Giant part of the game is the physical part, and nobody wants to get physical in these games. So
not since Sean Taylor leveled Brian Moorman. I think that was the last big hit.
Shout out.
R.I.P.
to the
Sean
God,
Taylor.
Sean Taylor, R.I.P. And Jackson Mahomes, go to hell. But all right, that was a little harsh on the boy. But
was it harsh?
Just take it easy, Jackson. Right. But let's move on. Of course, we did have a World Cup qualifier on Wednesday, and conditions in which soccer should never be played. I mean, I understand the general idea, as they kept saying on the broadcast. Well, it's 80 degrees right now in Honduras. All right, well, now it's -10, and our team is way better, so they probably also don't want to play in this. I felt so bad as I was watching the national anthems, and they're standing there, everyone's like hand on their chest singing the anthem, whatever, and then they ended, and I was like, oh no, dude, they have to take these jackets off. Like, I feel bad for every single one of these guys. And that was a point too where I was like, can they just let them play in the jackets? Like when a pitcher gets on first base, just let them run in the windbreaker, because guys are already standing there in the jackets, like shaking. At least 2, if not maybe 3 or more now, Honduras players were treated for hypothermia afterwards. Like, the ground is probably like playing on a parking lot. Some like McKinney stepped on a guy, should have been a foul, wasn't called, whatever. That already hurts, and that hurts so much worse when you're wearing the thinnest possible soccer shoes you can wear, and it's -10. Pepe, like a guy reached his arm back, popped his lip. Like, that doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to deal with this. Like, yes, USA won 3-0. Shout out to Pulisic also coming off the bench. I don't,
for some reason, they already had the game well at hand, and they still brought him in late.
Well, maybe that was Berhalter trying to flex on him. But
Berhalter was flexing in the crowd for photos during the game.
Berhalter, dude, Berhalter. That's another thing, dude. I don't even hate Berhalter, but with all this heat on his job, and then 10 minutes left in the game, he's over there posing with fans in the stands. Like, this is not a good look, dude. Like, this is on TV. Don't you realize? Like,
you look like an ass right now.
Like I said, I mean, the one positive takeaway is obviously he is not letting any of the outside talk get to him, because he is not even hearing it or aware of it. Like, anyone with any kind of awareness at all would never do that. And he's just like, nah, whatever. Behind the back pass. Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'll take pictures with the fans. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, I'll bench Pulisic. Whatever, dude. I'm doing what I want.
But you're right. Like that game, it just looked miserable to be out there. That was the first time I've ever seen a game where all the people in the field were wearing balaclavas.
And then guys came back out in the second half with like more stuff on. Like,
just even more layered up.
Like, all you can see is my eyes. Like, okay, everyone knows this sucks, dude. Like, they do not want to be here.
Like, I'll say it sucks for everybody on the field, obviously, but like at least if you're one of the outfield players, you're like maybe like constantly moving. I felt for the goalies, because like the goalies are just standing there. Like, that's got to be the worst.
There, as we have talked about, there is a element of, and USA during World Cup qualifying, when it gets down to the, like, whatever you would say, championship rounds, usually in the winter before the World Cup, they're going to play somewhere cold because they're playing all these South American teams, except Canada. But
also, if they play in LA, the crowd will be heavily favored towards the.
And there's that team. Element too. Yeah, they're not going to play in like Miami or New York City or LA, where fans of the opposing team might take over the stadium. But at a certain point, like, it becomes conditions where soccer should just not be played, probably. And I
Like,
thought that was very awkward to see for
maybe you
everyone.
could like find a compromise. Like, go to like Nashville. Like, I'm sure it's cold, but not like 12 degrees cold. Like, you don't have
Look,
to play in
it
Minnesota and
worked out.
Cincinnati.
It worked out. I mean, nobody died. Knock on wood. I've been prayers up for the Honduras boys that got the hypothermia treatment. But 3-0 for the USA. Unfortunately, Mexico with a late penalty, which
Questionable. Very questionable.
But normally I would say going into Azteca is a little tougher, but Mexico dealing with their own crowd restrictions was pretty limited there as well. The part that I saw of that game on TV. Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, that would have been big if they could have just even held them to 1 point. But take a look at the standings. This is where we sit currently. So no movement between 2 and 3. Both sitting on 21 points. Canada still sitting atop at 25. And Panama keeping themselves, in the playoff spot and still in the mix, maybe, to get up to an automatic spot. Costa Rica still with the shout, and then the rest.
The rest are mathematically eliminated.
Thanks for playing. But, man, I would have loved to not see Mexico get that questionable penalty. And Panama played very well in the game, I thought, as well.
Yeah, I was only able to catch highlights of that game. I didn't see the full thing, but the bits I did see, I thought Panama looked good. I mean, look, as long as the U.S. is top 3, get that automatic spot, yes, I would like them to finish first, ideally, or second. But, as long as they're top 3, doesn't matter if you're on the front of the bus or the back of the bus, you're on the bus.
Get on the bus.
The big concern is, so there's 3 games left for everybody in this qualifying round. The U.S.'s next 3 games are Mexico, Panama, and Costa Rica. So now I will say this, kind of the way points work, typically 24 points should probably get you that qualifying spot. So if the U.S. can win one of those 3, they should be good. But still, that's they didn't do themselves any favors, not showing, not again, I know you and I differ on this, but just not showing up against Canada. If they could have gotten a point of that.
Honestly, I saw even more of the same in the other game as well on Wednesday. Like,
yeah, the one against El Salvador.
As far as Honduras, yeah. But like skill wise, to a man, this is the best team we ever had. But
agreed.
And it's young. These guys are going to be around. They're only going to get better, barring injury, of course, whatever. But they just don't have anyone that knows how to put it in the goal. Like, it is great to have possession all the time. Like, don't get me wrong. I love seeing that way more than just like bomb it and just hope Landon Donovan or Clint Dempsey will just like make some miracle goal happen. But there he is. There's our guy, my captain. But they got to find some kind of cutting edge. I mean, Pulisic, it's tough. He is definitely our best player and also our best goal scorer, but he is not the center forward. He is not the number 9. Like, he needs to be having the ball and linking everyone else up to it. So that is the one glaring weakness. I still remain confident that we will get in this World Cup, and we will win it, of course, because it's coming home. But
rid of the stars.
It's already we've been just stacking trophies for the last year and a half. But Mexico, there is a chance they, move up to the 2 spot. It just would be nicer if I feel like this team that the USA has should be able to go that number 1 spot and get the seeded spot. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. So that, I think, is kind of, I don't want to say a failure, because after the last time we didn't even get in. All right, happy to be there a little bit, but also like the current generation, I feel like, should win the group here, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, chasing 4 points with only 9 available, and you look at that. You look at that fourth column for Canada is telling no losses. It's going to be real hard to make up ground. Like you got to hope the U.S. wins all their games and Canada draws or loses a game. And right now they're playing so well without their best player. Like I don't see Canada losing. I think Canada's got a pretty easy schedule for their last 3 games as well. I'd need to
and then also, I mean, they've given up 5 goals. I mean, this is a team that's like they bought in. Like they scored the most goals, giving up the least goals. So that's a dangerous team.
They're fantastic. They're fantastic on the counter. Like I swear I think like 15 of their goals have come off of a counter. So that's just kind of they sit back, they let you make a mistake, and then they just bomb it and beat you over the top. They've been doing so good at that. So yeah, I agree. I don't see the U.S. catching them just because Canada doesn't lose. But again, look, if the U.S., like I said, if the U.S. can win one of these last 3 games, that should clinch a spot. I'd like to see them win all 3, obviously. But
wow, there's one in particular I'd like to see them win, but we all know what that is.
When was the last time the U.S. won at Estadio Azteca?
I think it was a friendly a couple of years ago, but
I mean that had been the first. That had been the first time in years they had won there. So I mean, it's just something that doesn't happen.
Plus, it's hard to even get a point going down there.
Yeah,
even with less fans. I mean, I'm hoping maybe that's works out favorably for the U.S. team, and that's a big game for everyone, including the Mexican players. I mean, that's always like the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But man, I would love to get that 24 off that game.
You just got to hope, and I know I've heard you talk about this in the past. Like you got to hope that just because this U.S. team is so young, they don't have that like instilled fear of playing in Estadio Azteca. So they're just like, whatever, it's another game. Like
it's a road game. Speech, Joe Burrow. Just let
there we go. That's what we need.
The team. Like I don't care about anything, dude. I just show up and dominate, and then it all works out most of the time.
Yeah, guys, this isn't hard. Just show up and ball out. Come on.
It's not hard. I mean, it's not hard. Just don't care and just show up and be good. But let's move on through the soccer news here. We do have an FA Cup weekend coming off of the international window. Oh, Man U. It ain't good, dude.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
I know. I mean, for a franchise, a team that's just already financially just popularly just struggling like at all times, it seems like.
Just the real little guys couldn't pull it off against that dominant Middlesbrough team.
Come on, Burrow! But Middlesbrough comes up, takes them to the shootout. Middlesbrough, the penalties were
awesome. They were so good.
And yes, I know Manchester United was playing with kind of A/B/youth squad team, but
they still have Ronaldo and Bruno out there. Come on.
Yeah, you shouldn't lose that game. I mean, the real thing is like in a game where you put those guys out on the field, you shouldn't lose that game. Like you should just know, like, okay, well, this 16-year-old kid that's playing for our youth team is good enough to be in this game and we'll still win. But Man U has got some weird stuff going on right now, as we all know. Tyler, I don't know how much of the talk sport that you listen to, but I hope
it wasn't as entertaining as I thought it would be. I think it was just kind of and I think it's because a lot of Man U fans just kind of have realized over the years, like I think this is some like 9 straight years they're not going to win a trophy unless they go on some insane Champions League run. But like the fans are more frustrated the fact that like they've just become a global brand rather than a championship soccer team. Like, and that's what most of the calls were about. We're just like why can't we like just ever fucking win one? Like why are we more worried about our brand than we are the actual product on the field?
I guess I can kind of sympathize a little bit, and by a little bit I mean like 30%.
They're the underdog, Ronnie. How do you not sympathize with them? They're like the Chiefs, man. How do you not sympathize with them?
Just the attitude of like, we're just a brand now. We're not even good team. We're supposed to be a good team.
I mean, you are a good team. Yeah.
It's like, welcome to the big money, dude. Like, this is the NFL. Like, people own teams and allegedly maybe just don't even try to win games, and they just know it will print them money. So,
True.
Do you want the money, or do you want to just be like good old school, good team? I mean, yes, the answer is somewhere in between, obviously, but like,
sure.
I don't feel bad, dude. I mean, Glazer out.
No, the only person I feel really bad for Anthony Alanga. He had I mean, you can see there 8-7 on penalties. There were 16 penalties taken. Just absolute everybody was just burying everything. Especially again the Middlesbrough players. That was just like as an entire team. That was probably the most impressive penalty shootout I've ever seen. Just everybody just ran up there and buried it into a corner every time. Sometimes the top corner, and they got fortunate, but
that one was a little sketchy. But
then the fact that it got that deep, Man U has to send up a 19-year-old kid. Sounds familiar, yeah. England, right? To bury a penalty just to stay in the game, and he missed it. Like I really feel for Alanga in that case. He shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. But I mean, why didn't Luke Shaw take that kick? Like, why is that guy not taking penalties? He's a veteran. But that's neither here nor there. Either way, just hilarious that Man U's out. I'll say it's hilarious knowing that like a even more unfortunate accident could befall our beloved Hammers tomorrow. But I'm still laughing at this while I can.
How dare you? Moving on through the slate for the weekend.
Bro, it's the West Ham way to lose to a lower division team. On the road.
Yes. Kidderminster Harriers coming in hot. They're probably going to hang like 8 goals on West Ham. But, yes, we're still, pretty preliminary here in the FA Cup relative to the teams that are playing the Premier League teams. Chelsea hosting Plymouth Argyle. Man. So I'm just like, I know these names from FIFA, but I can't believe they're even playing.
What else? Like Sky gave us the betting odds. I don't know which, could be Betway or whatever sportsbook they use there. But yeah, you see the Chelsea a 1-25 favorite in that one.
Okay, let's go 33-1. I'm gonna lay something on Plymouth. I'm gonna hit up the book.
But it is. There's not too many interesting games. A lot of it, the draw was just a lot of.
I will say Everton Brentford is wildly fascinating. Given the circumstances for both teams,
I'm actually surprised Everton's a favorite. Just the way both teams have been playing, I'm kind of surprised Everton's a favorite.
I mean, at home, I'm going to give them being the favorite, and also they literally only have this. Like we got to win. Like, let's just make a cup run, dude, because everything else is totally bad right now.
Nothing else to play for. But I also just think because Brentford doesn't have that much depth, so Brentford is going to throw their starters out there. Everton might play some of their youth kids because that's what Premier League teams do in these early rounds. So Brentford probably just going to go for it.
Yeah, just Everton, man, they scare me. Hey, shout out to Huddersfield Town. Some of the names too, especially I highly recommend just going into FIFA if you have it or access to it. Go in there and look up Hereford United, some of these, Derby County. Just really get down there and take a look at some of these teams.
Swindon Town.
Oh man, dude, yes. What is the one that Wimbledon became? God, I can't think of the name of it now.
It's Milton Keynes Dons.
Milton Keynes Dons. Yes, dude. Oh man, maybe they're the next round. Let's slide on down the list here. Peterborough. Yes, QPR. Oh. The birthplace of Beckham. Of course, a huge Southampton Coventry City match.
Wigan at Stoke. There you go. That's another good one. Wow. Wolves hosting Norwich. So there you got technically a Premier League matchup.
Yes, in the loosest sense of the word.
Luton Town at Cambridge. Brighton Tottenham. That's a Premier League matchup that actually That one's kind of spicy.
That's a pick 'em. That's a pick 'em for me. That's a toss up.
That one's pretty spicy, yeah.
I'm just saying that for Justin because now Tottenham will win by like 8 goals. But there's also a chance, they lose. Whoa! Okay.
We got the Sunday slate. This is
I don't even know what Boreham Wood is.
But I think they're in what used to be the Coca-Cola League. So I think they're the National League.
Are they the lowest team remaining?
No, the Kidderminster United that West Ham is playing is.
Oh,
they're a level 6 or a level 7.
All right, now I see that we're screwed.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I mean, really, the Tottenham match was probably the spiciest one. Although, as I said, look at West Ham historically in the FA Cup; they love to lose on the road to lower level teams. So I won't even be fully surprised if West Ham loses tomorrow.
No, not this year, dude. Not this year. Still got a chance for the triple: Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup.
How dare you forget the Betway Cup that they won in the preseason?
Oh, that's right. Then that'd be quadruple.
Yeah,
this is our year.
But yeah, so that will be the FA Cup action for the weekend. Premier League will be starting back up. I think midweek next week they jump back into their slate.
Dude, where do we go next? Should we talk about? Let's just talk about it. Baseball still sucks. This is going to go on for a long time, as we have already warned you on this program, because all these rich guys just, they're already rich and then just don't realize the fading relevancy on TV of their sport. So, like, we can just drag this out. Like, it's good, but it's not good. And now the government's involved, so that always makes it better. Potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the MLB owners are now seeking help from the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service to help with the proceedings, because I know the MLBPA, most recently threw a counteroffer at them. The owners said, okay, we'll have our decision in a couple days. And instead of a decision, they did this, which I actually did see. This tweet made me laugh about the kind of like what they would explain to the mediator there. So you have a literal monopoly. It's exempt from antitrust, gets restrict the movement and earning power of your youngest employees, and you don't want any changes. Yeah, let's see what I can do for you.
Yeah, give me 48 hours. I'll get back to you.
And the MLBPA did come out with a statement basically saying that they are rejecting the mediation, which, I totally get. Like, the mediation is honestly not going to get anywhere. And I think the only thing that would have come from it is the owners would be able to say, like, well, look, we went to the government and they rejected this offer that the government threw out. So,
which is such a super popular route to go totally. These days.
So, this shit's not ending anytime soon. And, like you said, this is going to do so much damage. And the problem is MLB is not going to have a steroid-fueled home run chase to, like, bring it back in a couple of years. So this is just like, this is going to do some serious damage to them, man. Like, irreparable damage.
It's just like, know where you're at in the public consciousness. That's my whole thing with baseball. Like, we all understand it. A lot of us love it as American fans, but you have to, like, just know we need to have these games go on. Like, we cannot afford to lose games here. Okay, now this thing's going to be starting. We're getting into the NBA playoffs. We're getting into the hockey playoffs. We're starting to talk about the NFL draft. Like, are you just going to give that up because pinching at the waist about, like, service time and stuff like that? Work it out, dude. Like,
fucking figure it out.
The average fans are not going to really care about that. Like, yes, I feel some type of way on, either side of this as more of an initiated baseball fan than other people. But, like, at the end of the day, both sides got to give something. Because if you guys blow out another season or start it late even, like, it's not good. It's not good for your sport. It's not good for the future of your sport.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. What I think Passon said it best when he was on McAfee a few weeks ago, where he was like, "Look, baseball is a great sport that just cannot get out of its own way, and this is perhaps the best example of it, where it's just like
I think
there
it's
there
just
there
it lives in
there
the
will be no
past.
coming back. Yeah,
Like,
there
and
there will
I
be no
love
coming
the
back.
past of
Just,
baseball. It's the ultimate
sure,
stats game. That's the ultimate, like, well, if this guy played in the 70s or if this guy played in the, late 90s, like, so you can have
right.
all those hypotheticals, so many great players, like tons of players. Like, so I'll just go on Baseball Reference sometimes and just look at guys with like crazy names. Like, oh, he retired in 1881. Wow,
It's
man,
right.
that guy was awesome. So there's like it all goes
Old
back,
old
but
Haas old Haas Radborn. I go on his page all the time.
with that also comes like, okay, well, you have to realize there's all these other sports now, and even the Premier League, like that wasn't a big thing like 10 years ago, and now
Right.
a lot of people follow it here because and they cater to get the games on TV probably at a late time for them so people can see them on NBC, grow the game over
Hmm.
here, grow the brand, people know the teams. um, and baseball's just like, nah, just keep doing what we've been doing. We're the best. Like, hey, we never messed up, right? Hey, we're good. That just seems like the baseball attitude. Like the NFL has the same attitude, but they can do it because they are the best. Like they're the
Right.
biggest, baddest. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of the stuff they do, the attitude is very annoying. Um, but again, they can pull that off. Like baseball is, I don't. They're just acting like football now, but to me, it's like, okay, well, you were that in like 1963, so let's kind of get with the program here, dude. Like, okay, what are we doing on TV? What are we doing to like get more young people playing and liking this game? Nothing. We're locking out.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It as a mega baseball fan, it's insanely frustrating. But you and I can both safely say we were talking about that when we first started this show. We were talking about this possibility happening, and none of us are really surprised by it.
Not surprised. But I do want to bring into the program here on the Mike Piazza is not gay celebrity hotline.
Mm.
Uh, we do have Ben Simmons' agent joining the program. CEO Nick, how the hell are you?
How the hell are you? Oh, but of course, wait. Happy Friday, and of course,
Hey, anything is
There
possible.
we go.
Pop
There
that
we
thing.
one
go.
shot, big bro. One shot for little bro.
Didn't even sound like you enjoyed that.
The first shot for Big Bro was already a sound like it was kind of tough.
That's pretty rough.
Oof, man, it's not cold, so oof. Doesn't go down the hole as smooth. Hey,
Mm.
On that
we got
note, though, with the NBA edition Henny joining us, our NBA insider as well, and a privilege to know not only CEO of this program, but Ben Simmons' agent. Um, where are we at with this situation with Ben Simmons? Like, does he want
um,
to play basketball or does he want to, go to Mars?
it's neither here nor there. The
What if
best
he
thing
was
I
to
could,
play basketball on Mars?
Well, he'd probably be
well,
able to
it
jump a lot higher.
yes, Joe
Would it help
Gravity,
his shot?
Mars, Red
Yeah,
Bucks,
yeah.
yeah, right?
Would the
Yeah,
altered
Gary.
gravity help his shot?
Yes,
Maybe.
he wouldn't have to extend his arm as much.
Hmm.
Defense may be harder, so he's going to be limited in that. But hey, listen, at least he'll be shooting more or attempting to shoot more.
Yeah. Well, any shooting would be shooting more. So
Yeah,
let's hope for that.
we will take it, whether it be a free throw, a hook shot. We will take any attempted shot at this point.
Well, I mean, anyone that's taking on that contract just wants to see him play basketball.
Yes,
And that's, again,
getting him on the court.
where the
Getting
Sixers
him,
totally boned themselves by maxing this guy out. And then he, everyone slams on him. Doc is like, I don't know. Like, what was the thing they asked him on the postseason last year? Like, is Ben Simmons a guy you can win with? And he straight
he's like,
was like, I don't know yet. Like, oh, dude, you just maxed that guy out, dude. What are you doing, Doc? Wow.
and you said it on public TV, on national TV. It's like, oh.
He didn't go. He didn't go to bat for him after the game. He didn't give us it's not Ben's fault. It's not Ben's fault.
It's not Ben's fault.
I think that says it all.
Look, a lot of it probably was Ben's fault. But yes, if you just max this guy out, probably shouldn't say that. And then, of course, he turns out to be super emotional. Although, shout out to his godfather, head coach of the UCR Highlanders. Although they suck.
Who do they look to?
All right, dude, I'm about to kick you off the show, dude. What happened? What happened to USD last night? What happened to USD last night? Boat race.
Listen, Gonzaga was a 23-point favorite, and did they cover?
Yeah, they did. They covered the 23. That's how bad USD is. So, by proxy, that's how bad UCR is. All right, never mind. Forget Ben Simmons and his godfather. You're both dead to me.
But in all seriousness, like looking at possibly the trade deadline is what, next week. So I mean, I should know that. I'm his agent, apparently. I think
apparently.
There's still some fine print that needs to be worked out. It'll come through. It'll come through. I'm not too worried.
I've been misled. I've been bamboozled.
Hoodwinked. Led astray.
You and the Sixers have been bamboozled. You, the Sixers, and the Nets have been bamboozled.
Bamboozled? They played themselves.
Another one.
But
another one.
Again, if you are the Sixers, I still think you hold the cards. I mean, he's not getting paid if he's not playing. Like, yes, it was a dumb contract on your part, but also don't just like give him up for, we got a 3rd round pick from the Timberwolves, so we're just gonna
3rd round pick.
Like, you can't. They're not just gonna give you up for nothing. They already signed the deal with you.
They're making up picks that don't exist to trade him.
Well,
away.
they're taking it back in the day, like in the '78 draft. But still, like I don't think. I've said all along, he needs to play to audition to go to another team.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now he's already put himself in such a hole. And again, I don't know. And if the mental health thing is a real thing, I totally understand. And I'm not trying to like dunk on that, but you're kind of stuck right now. Like how attractive are you to other teams as a basketball player that doesn't want to play basketball? Like,
so the rumor that I heard, and like I heard it as I was dropping off some treats to your house earlier, on the radio, was there is potential rumor that Harden and Simmons may be a compatible trade with the deadline coming up. Whether this is true, I mean, I should know. Apparently, I'm his agent, but neither here nor there. But
killing the game, by the way.
Straight killing it.
One of the best agents of the game, and also mobile notary. Please.
And soon
please
photographer. So if you need some aerial work with
630-0410. Please believe it.
Stamp. But I mean, looking at it, if this were to really happen between the Nets and the Sixers, it's not like there's a great tip of the scale, because it's risky both ways. It is definitely risky both ways. If the Nets get Simmons, who knows, does this guy even want to play? You got to constantly wonder, all right, is he going to want to play, or are we going to have to deal with some type of backdoor BS that's going to kind of frustrate us? Because we're already dealing with Kyrie. We're lucky to get him on a road game, but now it's like,
You're right. But
we're dealing with Kyrie, and it's like, okay, like we already worry if this guy's even gonna like show up, even though he's allowed to play road games. He's gonna be like, I'm tired. You know what? Like, they might want me to vax. I'm not really into that. So there's that circus, and then
Rick's cousin is having a birthday party. I got to go to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he might be at a strip club. He might be promoting something. Then you got to bring on the whole the off the court drama that is Ben Simmons. Not to mention too, just how the contract is going to be restructured. That's a whole another ball game. For the Sixers, you kind of win in the sense that you get James Harden, someone who you 95% know is going to be on the court, is a scoring threat, The only concern is that how is that going to throw off the chemistry with Embiid, because now the Sixers have hit a stride. The ball's being fed through Embiid. He is the heart of the offense now, and now bringing in another shooter. It could add, but it could also be a detriment depending upon how the chemistry works.
Well, first of all, I had not heard about the Harden for Simmons, and to me, it's patently ridiculous. Why would you do that? There were some rumblings that Harden doesn't want to deal with the Kyrie stuff anymore. Like, all right, are you playing or are you not, or whatever? Because my window is this much, and you're just sticking around. But I don't know if he would leave. I mean, yes, Embiid is MVP candidate, but why would you leave the Nets? Like, still, and why would they want to bring in Ben Simmons?
Exactly. Like it's a gamble within itself. Like, is he going to show up today? Is he even going to be at the facility for practice?
If he leaves that team, I feel like he might suddenly fall in love with basketball again. And again, I don't know the severity of the claimed mental health thing, so I'm not trying to shit on that. But like, if he's going through some stuff, he's going through some stuff. But again, if you're the Nets, like, why would you trade for that? Like, this guy's working through stuff. Like, we're not giving away like our second best player for this guy. Like, if he can't play or if he's not ready to play or whatever it is.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for any team with championship aspirations to bring on a guy that, again, may or may not be dealing with mental health stuff, but is also earning a max contract and doesn't want to shoot a basketball. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, any rumor I've seen, like, and I'm a Kings fan. The Kings would, again, 3 or 4 years ago, absolutely would have traded for him because Vlade is fucking crazy. But nobody's taking on that. Nobody's taking on that contract with how Simmons is in his current state.
There's too many questions. I mean, I think he's untradeable, and I think the team that he's on, I mean, as they should, because they're already on the hook to pay him a bunch of money if they can't, are just going to wait till the best possible deal comes through. I don't even see Harden being that deal. They would probably jump at that as opposed to all the other ones, like for Westbrook or.
Oh, I 100% think they would jump on that. If that is a real offer, I 100% think they jump on that.
But I think they're in this case
the Lakers deal.
Holding. Well, yeah. I mean, people were talking about like, oh, it's just straight Westbrook for Simmons, and then like eat the rest of the money or whatever. Like, I mean, just crazy Laker fans that are all sad. Like, we just gotta accept that we suck, dude. All right, it is what it is.
Westbrook for Simmons. So would you rather have a guy that's throwing up wild ass shots and making like 2 of 12, or a guy
he is not afraid to shoot? Okay, yeah. Like, they just wanted to get back to someone that will put the rock up.
Well, Tyler,
in terrible situations.
You know what you get though with Westbrook? A guy who will show up to the court. A guy who actually
be there.
Physically be there.
You cannot
for
push
better
it,
or worse.
Will absolutely show up. Yes,
and he might shoot over the backboard once or twice, but
he might
be there.
Quarter.
Yes.
Well, I'll say this: with Ben Simmons,
I think Ben Simmons is stuck. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you know where Ben Simmons would fit in? The mid-'90s New York Knicks.
I don't know about that one.
No,
don't know about that one.
Because he would straighten up immediately. Because it's like you said earlier, Ron. Either John Starks is gonna punch him, or like Tyler, Charlo is gonna throw him through glass. Either way,
I guess, yeah. If you want to do trial by fire, just like, all right, how much do you love the game?
It would take less than one full practice for him to figure out, like, all right, either I'm going to get in on this team or I'm leaving the league.
No, that would be the thing that pushes him over the edge of, like, you know what, basketball is just not for me. No.
Well, not in this country. Maybe in China. Maybe Shanghai.
He probably fall out in Shanghai.
Jimmer Fredette, baby.
Oh, dude, him and Starbury. Just cooking them up. Can you imagine?
Buckets every day.
Dream team, dude. Jimmer Fredette, raining threes.
You wouldn't have to worry about shooting because Jimmer Fredette will just have unlimited range.
Well, plus he's just better than other people over there. I'm just going to assume his shooting percentage would go up playing against the guys in the CBA.
It's all right. Remember, Ben Simmons will eventually go to some team. Calling it right now. At some point, he's going to have to go to another team.
I mean, he's young enough. He's going to play basketball at some point. That's breaking news. Guaranteed.
He could wind up with our boy Robert Swift over in Spain.
Ooh.
Shout out to Robert Swift, dude. Favorite player, baby Cherokee. But speaking of, now that we have you on the program here as Ben Sim, his alleged agent and CEO of this program, yes, football team, Commanders, sorry.
No.
Back in the news, dude. So, apparently, yes, Dan Snyder, Handsy Dan is back out there again. But,
you never expect this kind of story to break out about a Dan Snyder-owned team.
Yeah, it's shocking. It was upsetting to me, too. I didn't see this coming. I thought they were past all that. New name, new life, who dis? But no.
New problems.
Same owner. And, yes, we had a deposition yesterday. And more, like, this is just insane, also. A blind spot so no one could see us in the dance studio. Even when COVID hit and we actively had to practice on the concourse, we were actively being watched on security cameras by Chris Boyer, an executive. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I mean, what else can you say, man? That's they every day they just find like some news story of like everybody being just a total shithead in the.
If there was any time that you could stay out of the NFL news cycle, this would be the time. But no.
It's like they took 2 steps forward. You just released the new name, the Commanders. You're no longer a Washington football team. You actually have a title to the city, but now it's like, and this, and amidst other legal ramifications that are going on in the league, it's like, man, how can we take a dump on ourselves? That's how.
I just want to remind everyone out there, the Gruden, what led to his firing, which was justified and necessary. That all started with an investigation into, what was then the football team. But apparently, again, as we were told to believe, no damning emails for football team, even with all this stuff that always comes out about them.
So, Ron, I'm glad you brought that up here because earlier today, the United States Congress has set a deadline for the NFL to turn over everything regarding that investigation.
USA.
They gave them the report. They gave them the amazing deadline of the day after the Super Bowl. So I'm sure they're happy with that.
That's Valentine's Day, dude.
Right? I did also find it really funny that as soon as they changed the name to the Commanders, or Commies for short, the United States government comes after them.
Well, I mean, don't change your name to the Commies, dude, if you don't want to get clapped.
And I'm still military, so they could be in my radar at some point.
That's true. They may have to call you in for this.
I mean, I have to go from CEO Nick to military Nick.
I will say this. Like, I see this deadline, and on paper, it looks like good news. The problem is, I think twice already, Congress has given them a deadline to turn over everything, and they haven't done. They've just outright not done it. So I don't know if anything really comes from this. We certainly hope it does because, we've been saying for this whole time, release the emails. We want to see everything. So hopefully something comes of this, but who knows?
Tyler, in all honesty, I think this is just smoke and mirrors. So the NFL for the longest has been has put out a message, but I feel like they never deliver on it. It's we're gonna do better. We're gonna end racism. We're gonna promote this, promote that. We're gonna come together as a better league. And what happens? Just nothing.
Well, they just stay in business. I mean, that's the thing. They just make more money. Is what happens.
Yeah, and I'm hey,
hashtag take command. Take command.
Oh, God.
Hashtag release the report. I like that.
Yeah, you saw homie's shirt.
I just thought this was like who knows with football team / commander / redacted former name. I mean, we all know what I'm talking about. But also the jerseys suck, the new ones. Wow.
They do suck. Yeah.
Really, really bad. Arena football is back in Washington. But they somehow found a way in a time where Brian Flores thing is going on. Now Hugh Jackson comes out and says the same thing about like the tanking thing, which I think like the Rooney Rule thing is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. I wouldn't say. I think the fact that the rule exists is kind of the most like placating racist thing of everything. Like, if you have to put that rule in there, like you're just gonna set yourself up for this to happen at some point. But the tanking thing is way, way, way more like that's competitive balance of the league. Like, we all know that teams tank, but paying people to tank, especially in a league like the NFL where the gambling, let's just be real, is
lots of money being exchanged.
Lot of money. That's like you're about to Don Sterling yourself if that comes out to be true, because they will just take your team away. Like, the league can't afford to like have it be confirmed that, oh yeah, we just saw you, like we got the text right here. You just said you were just going to pay this fool to lose a game. Like, you're going to lose your team if that comes out to be true. And still, the football team manages to get back in there with yet another weird handsy assault story.
Maybe that's why they keep Snyder around. He's kind of like what you said, Bettman earlier is like, I'll step up and say some dumber shit to like take the heat off. That's why they keep Snyder around.
I like that. Maybe like, all right, well, look, all right. So we're all agreed we hate this guy, right? Yeah, we all hate him. But we need to keep him as like the eject button, dude, because of other stuff that we do, like all this other like bad stuff that comes out, boom, we just throw Snyder back out there as the lamb.
Like, it's not is his franchise going to do something stupid? It's when and how bad will it be? So let's keep him around. That way, if you guys fuck up, we can just throw one of his stories out there. Well, he'll take all the heat.
They already told us they read 650,000 emails, dude. So they probably
they didn't find anything, though. They didn't find anything.
Nah, but they got stories for years, dude. So any other bad thing that comes out, like, hey, we just found this Snyder email. It went to spam, so we didn't see it the first time.
Just spam.
But we just saw this, and it's pretty bad. I mean, look at these guys. Look at football team. What are they doing?
I don't know, man. I'm just realizing that it's a sad state of affairs when right now UEFA and the International Olympic Committee are like the most clean governing bodies in sports. That is just a sad state of affairs.
Well, on that note,
yeah,
the Olympics are back. Well, they've been back for a few days, but the events that they have to kind of start the prelims, start it going before the official opening ceremony. But yes, the Winter Olympics are back. Dude, we just got to win one of these curling championships.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's curling? That's one thing.
It's been going, dude.
It's so the mixed doubles curling has been going on. The men's and women's teams start up, I think, the 10th or the 11th.
Okay, 10th and the. I'm dealing with a certain streaming service, so I'm hoping I can get live feeds from this.
So you should be able to see the Miracle on Ice game, like in a week or two.
Oh, it might pop up on the screen.
From the 1980 Olympics. Hulu might have that. So I won't spoil what happens, but I think you'll like it.
Okay, but, good.
Yeah, we did have the opening ceremonies, which already they might actually be on TV right now because they do.
I think on the West Coast it is on right now.
But yeah, this was at like 3 a.m. I was up. I haven't been sleeping well since COVID, but I was up, so I watched a bit of this. I'll definitely say their 2008 Summer Olympic opening ceremonies were, I thought, a lot better. With the terrifyingly intense, massive drum line they had,
synchronize
more
8,000 people at once. Like, okay.
Yeah. That was a lot more terrifying than a bunch of guys like kind of waving around inflatable pool tubes. But it was still cool. I mean, opening ceremonies are always fun. Of course, most notably, we have to have somebody out there carrying the flag without a shirt.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, the guy that usually does it for Tonga actually did not go to Beijing this year because in a very noble act, he's staying back home to help people because they had a massive volcano eruption like a month ago. So he's staying back to help out his country with that. But a guy from American Samoa here, Nathan Crumpton, stepping up out there in the 27-degree weather with no shirt on, carrying his flag. You, sir, deserve a salute. That is a stallion for sure.
And hey, shout out to the skeleton team for American Samoa. Or I don't know if he's. I guess it's just a one man.
He's it. Yeah, he's it.
Is he the only Olympian in the Winter Olympics for American Samoa?
He might be. Let me go ahead and talk. I'm gonna check on that.
I mean, where does he practice? I don't know. But hey, good on him. Look at this guy getting out there, doing it in the COVID dome. Obviously, a lot of fan restrictions, a lot of restrictions on where the athletes can go. So, again, I get NHL, why, you decided it was best that we don't have the really good hockey players go over there. But, probably didn't have to take all these weeks off anyway. Make up the games, yes. But we'll see. But it's going to be a weird Olympics just because of everything going on. Just obviously the political stuff, which I don't even need to get into that, and COVID.
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, how are they kind of like battling COVID in this sense? 'Cause I know that there was a big scare when the summer.
I'll tell you how they're just praying like hell that a bunch of people don't get it because they're in their country and they're on TV every night.
Like, oh god, please don't test.
Oh, no, if we have an outbreak, we're gonna look like a bunch of assholes. Like, please, no.
He coughed. Oh god.
Well, I think you get quarantined if you try to leave China as well. Like, if you do test positive, so you're gonna have to sit back for a long time. I mean, you can't just like hop on the next, Delta and get out of there.
Or Spirit Airlines,
Oh man, that would be a hell of a Spirit flight.
Oh, I don't know.
Hell of it. That'd be Greyhound bus rides. Like,
I don't know if a Spirit plane could make it that far.
I'm telling you, from San Diego to like New York City, I would take that Greyhound bus ride as opposed to a Spirit flight from China to anywhere on America, like even to Hawaii. Like, that sounds so bad. Spirit is, dude, 2 hours. That's the max. Otherwise, pick another airline.
Hey, chip in for gas money, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You want to go to the bathroom?
Okay.
Dude, I had to put tokens in the door. What?
But by the way, I just looked up and confirmed that Nathan Crumpton is the lone representative from American Samoa.
Hey, there we go. Let's go, Nate Dogg.
How can you not root for him?
One shot for Big Bro.
Hey, yeah, pour one out. Pour one out for Nate Dogg.
Bow.
Yes, excited to watch it. Sorry, just a minute ago, I had a women's hockey game on, and a ref got absolutely blasted by a puck.
Oh,
so there was a slight. She seems okay now, but there was a slight delay in the Finland-Canada women's hockey.
As long as it's not COVID, okay. Like,
not COVID,
they'll get over it. Hockey players, hockey refs
guys,
are tough.
well, especially to Ron. So listen, I know baseball is still going through its mediation process, trying to get the whole bargaining agreement together, so we can hopefully get a season. But in the meantime, we can always be supporters of USD baseball, because their season starts the 16th.
You know what? USD is dead to me, dude. They already disrespected the flag. They beat UCR. No, that's it.
Also, my dad is a graduate from Cal State Fullerton, so I'm definitely rooting for them when they play USD.
Let's go, Fullerton. Suck it, USD. Take that shirt off. Take that shirt off.
But just saying, if you guys want to go to a game, I might be there. You know, I don't live that far. I want to show my support to my local college teams.
Well, we might see or hear, the voice of God, aka Callum McClurg, up in the rafters. I don't know if he's doing USD baseball or not, but I feel like that's something that he probably. I feel like he does every sports team at college.
I know he does Point Loma baseball, which I would highly recommend checking that out, just because that is like the best view of any stadium in America.
The Vista, yes.
Noted. You know what? Rumor has it too that a certain radio personality might be at the USD game.
You talking about Woods? Woods is going to be there?
No. We're talking about the coach.
Wow. He loves the local team. See, I'm a big coach guy. I
might meet him face to face, but hey, Christian Valley, how the hell are you, coach?
I would recognize that voice anywhere. Is that Nick in Mission Valley?
It honestly wouldn't even surprise me if he actually did recognize you.
You know what, Nick? Thank you for your service. How the hell are you?
This is a man that accurately predicted or said what high school Ronnie went to without Ronnie giving him any real hints on it.
That was a deep cut. That was a way deep cut. I mean, if you know, you know. Like, that one kind of shook me to the core.
So Point Loma, you said a good view. Definitely will consider that.
No, that one just looks out to the ocean.
Yeah, the outfield fence literally is at the cliffside. So home runs go flying into the ocean.
Splash hit, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, and don't forget too.
Bell or Oracle or whatever it is.
Another San Diego plug to put out. Hey, Tijuana's coming to town soon.
Yeah, vamos Cholos.
Cholos, yep.
So
Landon, don't disappoint. Do not disappoint, please.
Okay, well, we all know what's up with him, but look, it's good for the boys. Good for the boys to play against a good team.
That might be his game day.
Don't hospitalize me again. You see what you did last time, Landon?
Yeah,
don't forget. Mess up.
Well, he learned from it because then they went on a seven match win streak, or they didn't lose for the last the next 7 matches.
All right, but where's one of these? Where's one of these?
Get me one of these.
I don't have one for the loyal.
One and done in the playoffs. Unacceptable for the loyal. Unacceptable.
It was technically the inaugural season.
Standard. There's a standard out here.
This
is the second season.
This isn't Man U, where not winning a trophy is acceptable. Apparently.
Yeah, no, that's just not going
to. This is the big leagues. This is the big leagues. All right.
USL, baby. But remember, the foundation is laid. Now we just build from here. We just build and build and build.
Oh, well, build me something better than getting knocked out in the first round, Landon.
You need a load bearing trophy. That's what you need to build.
But also, we got a shout out on their page. I was mentioned on the social media page, so hey, we're getting in there. Baby steps, foundation. You build. Need a
trophy to bear that load. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
We're gonna need some hardware, Lando. Come on. Show me some. But that's all I got. Like I said, no need to watch the Pro Bowl or NHL All-Star game. All the best stuff about that weekend already happened. Skills challenges. What?
The competition is it's the best of the best, going full force at each other.
Well, you know what? I might look at over/under on the Pro Bowl. Just out of curiosity, might throw $5 on it just to see.
I'm betting first half Pro Bowl.
First quarter, dude. First quarter. That's where all the sharps are at, dude. And I've been seeing some good stuff. Okay. I don't want to say on this program. Yeah.
RJ Bell is talking about it on Fox Sports all the time, man. First quarter Pro Bowl.
Before I sign off, I just want to see if they have that over under because I just genuinely am curious.
Oh, that's just terrifying.
Let's find out. Dude.
Well, yes. Well, Ronnie's looking that up. Thank you all very much for tuning in here. We will be showing back up. I mean, we're not leaving until Ronnie
62 and a half. Dude, over.
Yeah, I would say hammer the over. Hammer
62
the over
and a half? No, that's not even a problem.
They might have that at halftime.
The Super Bowl game is 48.5.
Yeah, because
they tackle each
because
other.
those teams try. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like 62. What are we even talking about?
Oh no!
14 more, 2 touchdowns. No.
So you would hammer the over. You're pretty much
Everyone hammer the over on the Pro Bowl and
for entertainment purposes only. For entertainment purposes only. Please believe that.
Please believe that. But again, hammer the over.
We're going to say that.
So we will be back here on Monday to recap the Pro Bowl. In
Wall-to-wall Pro Bowl coverage.
So soak in our millions of dollars that we get from betting the over on the Pro Bowl.
Bet your mortgage.
Whoa.
Ooh, hey now. But
I
we'll
already
back
put
here
the disclaimer up.
recapping the Olympics going full force. Whatever else happens this weekend, we'll be recapping it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Nick, thank you for jumping on. Always a pleasure. We love you guys. You know the drill. Keep it fun.